Hello friends, this is the second video discussing the Great Dying or the Great Extinction event at the end of the Permian. And a lot of what I'll be saying here is basically a repeat of what I said in the first video, but I think the message is still clear. Basically, the hypothesis here is that rapid global warming caused the largest extinction in Earth's history. The Permian was the largest extinction. It wiped out the vast majority of marine terrestrial animals on the planet. 96% of all marine species perished. 2/3 of terrestrial species perished. It was so severe it wiped out most of the planet's trees, insects, plants, lizards, even microbes. So when did this Permian extinction event take place? About 252 million years ago, ending the Permian geological period. The study of sediments and fossilized creatures showed the event was the single greatest calamity as far as life on Earth is concerned to hit. And this was even greater than the KT event, the end of the Cretaceous started the Tertiary, where the big rock tumbling out of the sky took care of the dinosaurs, well, most dinosaurs. So, what are some of the theories for this extinction event? Giant asteroid impact has been purported. Of course, when you go back that far, it's difficult to find evidence because of Earth's continual reshaping of the surface, erosion, deposition, and so on. It took look how long it took to find the impact crater for the KT event. That was 65 million years ago. Well, we're going back 4 times as far back in time for the Permian event, 252 million years. So now researchers, and again I'm going to be mentioning Dr. Curtis Deutsch's name again, they basically pinpointed the demise of marine life to a spike in Earth's temperatures, warning that present-day global warming will also have severe ramifications for life on the planet. So Dr. Deutsch, he's that oceanographer from the University of Washington, co-authored the research that appears in Science. It was a huge event. In the last 500 million years of life on the planet, it was the worst extinction. And Justin Penn is his colleague, along with Stanford University scientists Jonathan Payne and Eric Sperling. So what did they do? They used paleoceanographic records and built a model to analyze changes in animal metabolism, ocean climate conditions. When they used the model to mimic conditions at the end of the Permian period, they found it matched the extinction records. So now they have a baseline. If the model works, they can now use this to extrapolate and look at current conditions. Feed it in. And as I discuss at length in my isotopic fractionation video, I discuss how looking at the Del 18 oxygen from sea ice and forams and sediments, we can reconstruct the past. According to the study, this suggests that marine animals essentially suffocated as warming waters lack the oxygen required for survival. For the first time, we've got a whole lot of confidence that this is what happened, said Dr. Deutsch. It is a very strong argument that rising temperatures and oxygen depletion were to blame. As I stated in other videos and in the previous Permian video, as water temperatures increase, the concentration of gases decrease, the solubility decreases. Warmer and warmer water is less able to absorb more gases, so solubility drops off. The new research found that the drop in oxygen levels was particularly deadly for marine animals living closer to the poles. They are less tolerant of lower values of DO, dissolved oxygen. Experiments that varied oxygen temperature levels for modern marine species, including shellfish, coral, and sharks, help fill in some missing aspects of the model. And that's from Dr. Payne. Dr. Payne continues to say, you wouldn't want to be around at this time. It's a terrible, terrible time to be on the planet. It shows us that when the climate and ocean chemistry changes quickly, you can reach a point where species don't survive. It took millions of years to recover from the Permian event. Excuse me. Which is essentially permanent from the perspective of human timescales. Over the past century, the modern world has warmed by about 1 degree C. We know why. This warming is causing heat waves that are brutal, flooding, wildfires. Scientists warn that the temperature rise could hit 3 or maybe 4 degrees by the end of the century, unless immediate radical reductions in emissions take place. And at the same time, Earth species are undergoing and I've discussed this with you guys before, what's currently underway is the 6th Great Extinction. Look at Elizabeth Colbert's superb book on the subject. Habitat loss, poaching, pollution, climate change, some of the causes. Dr. Payne says, it does terrify me to think we are on a trajectory similar to the Permian because we really don't want to be on that trajectory. It doesn't look like we will warm by around 10 C. We haven't lost that amount of biodiversity yet, but even getting halfway there would be something to be very concerned about, something to avoid. The magnitude change we are currently experiencing is fairly large. Dr. Deutsch adds, we're about a tenth or about 10%, 20% of the way to the Permian. Once you get to 3 or 4 degrees C of warming, that is a significant fraction, and life in the ocean is in big, big trouble, to put it bluntly. And then there are big implications for humans' domination of the Earth and its ecosystem. Well, that's part of the problem. Humans are part of the ecosystem, not separate. The ecosystem is there for us not to dominate, but to be stewards of. Dr. Deutsch adds, the only way to avoid a mass aquatic die-off in the oceans, reduce CO2 emission, given there's no viable ways to ameliorate the impact of climate change in the oceans using other measures. Pamela Grothe, who is a paleoclimate scientist at the University of Mary Washington, states that the research group provide convincing evidence that warmer temperatures and associated lower oxygen levels in the ocean are sufficient to explain the observed extinctions we see in the fossil record. And as I stated in the previous video, the past holds the key to the future, she added. Our current rates of CO2 emissions is instantaneous, geologically speaking, and we are already seeing warming ocean temperatures and lower oxygen in many regions, currently affecting marine ecosystems. If we continue in the trajectory we are on with current emission rates, this study highlights the potential that we may see similar rates of extinctions in marine species as in the end of the Permian. Not hyperbole. Okay. We're on a dangerous trajectory here. Now, another, and I discussed this with you in other videos, if we reduce the amount of meat, so that's the beef, that can go a long way to mitigating how much greenhouse gases are put into the atmosphere. The animal ag business is a major, major contributor to global warming, global climate change, and adding of greenhouse gases to the atmosphere. Basically, just the energy required to grow a pound of beef and the fact that the animals are farting away, adding CH4 to the atmosphere. It's kind of a 1-2, uh-oh. So, some interesting lessons to be had here. Will people listen? Will politicians listen to the scientists and enact appropriate policies? We'll have to see. I'm not encouraged. Thank you for your time. Until next time. Hey folks, this is Jim here reminding you to subscribe to this channel, to share my videos, tell others of the work that I do here. I also ask that if you are not already a patron at Patreon, to please consider becoming a patron at Patreon. You can find the information in the description box below the video. I'm asking you to help support the work that I do. I do not take any money from corporations or from any other sources, so the information I share with you is the actual science as it comes out of the peer-reviewed journals. So there is no BS, there's no propaganda, there's no agenda. It's just I present the science and I explain to you what it means, or at least my interpretations of it, based on my own experience as a scientist. I want this channel to grow. I consider, while I discuss many different topics here, you notice I do focus a lot on climate issues. I consider climate change to be the most pressing issue facing humanity today. Thus, I consider it important to disseminate this information to a wider and wider, more and more people. And I need your help to do this. So, yes, please subscribe. Please tell others of the work that I do here. Please share my videos on social media platforms, with your social media groups, what have you. We need to get this information out there. So for those of you who are supporting me on Patreon, I thank you greatly for your support and continued support. It does mean a lot to me. So together we can get this information to more and more people. Thank you. Thank you for your support.